guys, happy Tuesday. It's Joe and it's time for a Pocket with Joe. It is Tuesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day with the ones you love. Now we got 9 games on the ice, something I love to talk about. We're going to talk all of these 9 games. Going to be a good night. Now, got to talk about my Calgary Flames last night, letting that game go. They let in 2 goals to take it to overtime. They were up that whole game versus the Ottawa Senators. I tell you, I don't know what is wrong with the Calgary Flames right now, but we do know one thing. Toffoli is absolutely cashing. Getting 5 goals in the last 5 games. Look at his shots on goal. Look at him for those anytime goals. He's having a phenomenal time. Well, the rest of the Calgary Flames are not. So we weren't able to get Calgary over the total of 3.5 or the Preds over 3.5. But we did cash Calgary and the Sens in that first period over 1.5. Now, the Florida Panthers got us that money line win, and the LA Kings got us that money line win. So happy with that. The Panthers and the Wild not able to go over that 1.5 in that first period. Now, the couple goalie props we looked at, Anderson of the Buffalo Sabres under 28.5 save shots on goal. Now, he came in getting 23 save shots of 28. So we did cash on that. Cobley, it hit right on 27. His number was 27.5 save shots on goal. He only had 27. We lost by that hook there. He had 29 shots on goal, 27 saved. So let's take some more money today. I've got a couple of props that I'm really liking today. Like I said, 9 games on the board, lots of places to make some freaking money. Big shout out. Thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to make some freaking money today, you guys. Let's get to the first game. I'm really liking today's card. We have the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Washington Capitals. Now, Frederik Andersen expected in goal for the Canes, and we have Darcy Kemper here for the Washington Capitals. Now, the Capitals are a home dog, and who doesn't love a home dog? Just not sure I can get there with the Washington Capitals in this matchup. With the Carolina Hurricanes coming in here sitting first in the Metro and the Washington Capitals sitting 4th in the Metro. Now we have the Canes off a loss and we have the Caps off a loss as well. But which team do I trust more off of a loss? It would be the Carolina Hurricanes. They're out that loss to the Rangers. It was a 6-2 loss. While the Washington Capitals lost to a stinky team, the San Jose Sharks. They lost that one 4-1. Now, I would have looked more at the Washington Capitals here tonight because when we look at the records of how the Carolina Hurricanes have played in Washington, it's been a hard team for them to beat. Going 5-13 in the last 18 meetings in Washington and 2-5 in the last 7 meetings overall. But I'm throwing out those trends here. I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm with you, Creekman, on that because Ovechkin's out for the Washington Capitals. And while there's some players you can take out, you can have that kind of next man up mentality. Ovechkin is so phenomenally strong for the Washington Capitals. I can't back them here without him. Now, I don't know how long he is out for. It's out for personal reasons. So hopefully everything is okay with Ovechkin and we see him back in the lineup sooner than later for this Washington Capitals team because they need to stay relevant in the Metro here. Couple of things I'm looking at for this one is we can look at a Sebastian Aho here of the Carolina Hurricanes. I think he has a great night. His shots on goal tonight, over 3 is coming in at -114. I do like that. I think he has every ability to get those shots on goal. Now, I know some of you are riding that over in tonight's game, and this is a hard one now that it's dropped to 5.5. At 6 last night, I liked it to the under. I still lean on the under in this one. I hate to take unders with teams that are so highly explosive, but I do think this one could stay under that total. I just look at the Washington Capitals, and I think it's going to be a hard night for them out there on the ice versus the Carolina Hurricanes, who are limiting opponents to 28.3 shots on goal. First overall in the league for limiting those shots. Frederik Andersen goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. I could see this being a 4-1 style game here for the Carolina Hurricanes. So I'm going to lean on the under 5.5, but I will be betting the Canes probably here in regulation. I can't take them at -172 on that money line, but I would look at taking them parlay on that money line. So they won the last matchup 3-2. I think it's a very similar style game here. Okay, the next game on the board, you guys, we have the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Now this one, anyone lining up to see this one, anyone lining up to bet this one, we have a total that's climbed from 6 to 6.5. And I can definitely see why. We see both of these teams not strong defensively at all. And both of these teams, well, pretty average at getting goals, right under 3 for both of them. Montreal's been heating up as of late. They've won their last 2 games. They got that big win over the Edmonton Oilers, and this was one of those bets that I kicked myself. It was Super Bowl Sunday. I looked at the hockey slate for the day. You guys know I didn't come here and do Puckett. I just had way too much going on with my Sports Grid show and everything that I had going on that day. I looked at Montreal versus Edmonton, and I went, okay, I say it all the time. Montreal beats these teams like Edmonton and Calgary. They step up for these ones and they don't beat the bad teams. So I looked at that. I wanted to put Montreal in. They came in. They just crushed the Edmonton Oilers. I missed it. I missed putting it in with all my Super Bowl bets. So totally just forgot about hockey. But you guys, in this one here, Jake Allen is expected in goal for them. The Blackhawks normally win this matchup. They won the last 7 meetings in Montreal, and the road team's gone 8-1 in the last 9 meetings. I can't get behind the Chicago Blackhawks. We're getting them at plus 122. It's really interesting. They do have the best face-off in the whole league. They're actually winning the face-offs. Well, this team is so terrible. But can I back the Montreal Canadiens? I could in a way, but it's too juiced here. They're playing better as of late. Like I said, they won their last 2. They got a really hard road trip on deck. So this team really wants to get the win before heading out on that road trip. But their road trip is the Carolina Hurricanes, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the New Jersey Devils, and then the Philadelphia Flyers. So they got a really hard 4 games ahead of them here. I think they probably get the win here. I'm not willing to pay it. I do like a couple goal scorers, though, one from each team. I'm going to look at Patrick Kane here for the Chicago Blackhawks. For that anytime goal, he's coming in at plus 180. He is the best player on the Chicago Blackhawks. And Nick Suzuki of the Montreal Canadiens, I think he has every opportunity to put one in the back of the Blackhawks goal. He's coming in at plus 186. So instead of betting a total in this one, because I can't trust either team, while I do lean to the over, these 2 teams trend to that under, I'm just going to look at those 2 players to get a goal in this one, both giving us plus money. And that's where I'm going with it, you guys. Big shout out to each and every one of you. Let's make some freaking money, Benjamin. I am so ready to make some today. You're taking your chance with the Blackhawks, and I don't blame you. They won the last 7 meetings in Montreal. You can make a case for either way here. I'm going to roll, if I had to, with the Habs as well, but I do think it probably goes over in this one. I'm just going to look at those goal scorers, and I'm going to leave it at that. The New Jersey Devils and the Columbus Blue Jackets then kick off at 7:30 Eastern. Vanek expected in goal for the Devils tonight. We know how strong Vanek is. He's got a 2.32 goals against average. And the Columbus Blue Jackets here looking or confirmed to start Elvis. Elvis is in the building, you guys. And I wish I could say that with some sort of excitement, but the Columbus Blue Jackets have played very strongly against the New Jersey Devils, but we've got Elvis in net tonight, who I cannot trust. If it wasn't Elvis here, I'd be looking at taking Columbus plus 1.5 on that puck line. I can't do it with Elvis. But that being said, with how Columbus has played so strongly when the Devils have come to town, I can't take the Devils here, laying the 1.5. They're really strong on that puck line on the road, though, 19-6 on the road. It is the way that the game should go. The Devils should come in, and they should steamroll over the Columbus Blue Jackets. But I'm not willing to bet it here. We see the majority of the money sitting here on the Devils. We know Vegas is around for a reason. It kind of feels a little trappy for me, even though I think this is the way this game will go. I'm going to look at the over 6.5 in this one. I think we see the goals coming in. The New Jersey Devils so phenomenally strong. They could put up 5 of these goals themselves on Elvis. Elvis has a 4.34 goals against average. I don't trust him at all. Now the Devils, remember, they've lost their last 7 in Columbus. They do not play well here, but I think they get the goals either way. Jasper Brett here is someone to look at for that anytime goal for the New Jersey Devils. We know Jack Hughes is out, so we have to find someone else. Plus 164 for him for that anytime goal. He scored in the last game versus the Columbus Blue Jackets and had 1 assist. So I'm looking for him to come out strong in this one. And then looking at the Columbus Blue Jackets, we know Johnny Gaudreau probably will have a good night. We're seeing him. I saw him at the All-Star game. He really lit up. And I expect him to have a nice one here. But I'm going to look at Bon Jenner here. I think Bon Jenner for that anytime goal at plus 198 has great value. I can see him scoring one. This is a battle of the Metro, you guys, with the Devils sitting a second and the Columbus Blue Jackets sitting 8th in the Metro. The last time these teams played, it was in New Jersey. New Jersey won 7-1. Kind of see the same sort of game. I see the New Jersey Devils scoring in bunches into this one. Okay, so if you look at the Columbus Blue Jackets as well, they have lost their last 5 first periods. So I think taking the New Jersey Devils here on that puck line in that first period is an interesting way to go and probably cashes. But I also like the first period over 1.5. So then I really have to count on the New Jersey Devils to get 2 goals in that first period. I'm just going to take the first period over instead of hitting the Devils on that puck line. So the first period over 1.5 is minus 140. And I think there's value in the over 6.5 in this one. Yeah, Montreal is now a favorite. Devils on the puck line. If you have faith, you absolutely have to hit it there. Lots of you liking the Devils here. I love it. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Ooh, the Canadians, your 4-leg parlay. Okay, good luck. Good luck. Let's move on to the next game, you guys. With the Ottawa Senators taking on the New York Islanders. The pesky Sens, who got the win over my Calgary Flames last night. You guys, I told you I wasn't comfortable betting my Calgary Flames going in regulation, or that money line just didn't sit right with me. That's why I took their team total over 3.5. I was praying in overtime they'd get that overtime goal to hit over 3.5. Calgary is absolutely struggling right now. I think Dan Vladar is going to be named the top goalie. Markstrom just having issue after issue after issue. But that being said, Calgary did a phenomenal job at the start of that game, limiting the Ottawa Senators' ability to get these shots on goal. And they did it versus the Buffalo Sabres as well. So Calgary is starting off strong. We saw the Ottawa Senators last night just fight to the very end, and this is what this team is able to do. Now, they're going to have a hard time on the back-to-back tonight versus the New York Islanders. The Islanders coming in here at minus 205, plus 168 if you have faith in the Senators to get another big win, and we have a total of 6. I'm going to have to go with the New York Islanders in this one, and I'm going to have to find value because we can't take them straight up on that money line. Sorokin is expected in goal for them tonight, and I absolutely love what we've seen out of Sorokin so far this year. He is a strong goalie. He's got a 2.41 goals against average. This team, while they're not averaging over 3 goals per game, their defense is really stepping up. They are allowing more shots to come on goal, though, so it is putting all the weight on Sorokin's shoulders. And I think in this one, he will have a strong day versus the Ottawa Senators, especially with the Senators off the back-to-back. This is a one-off road trip for them. They're back home after this game, and then they play the Blackhawks on Friday. So it's kind of a weird scheduling spot when we see these teams playing at home, have a one-game road trip, and then come back home. I don't like it for a lot of these teams, and I think the value is on the Islanders here. They've lost their last 2 games. They lost that last one to Montreal. So Montreal's beaten Edmonton and the Islanders in the last couple of games. And that was an OT loss to the Montreal Canadiens here, which was a one-off road trip for them as well. It was one of those situations where they went out on the road just for one game. They're the Penguins on deck on Friday, which is a divisional opponent, with the Islanders sitting 6th in the Metro and the Penguins sitting 5th in the Metro. But I don't think a Friday game, we're Tuesday, that's too far of a look ahead. So I think the Islanders here is the way to go. Looking at this total, we got a total of 6. I'm going to hit it under. I also think the Islanders in regulation, while it's juicy at minus 140, Can see them getting it done tonight. I also lean on the Sens team total under 2.5. I think on this back-to-back with Sorokin, we struggle to see the Sens score in this one. So those are the 3 bets I'm liking in this game. It's going to be a really interesting one to see how the Islanders come out. Islanders in the first period, I definitely agree with that. They should come out nice and strong. We've really got to pay attention to Brady Tkachuk of the Senators. He's playing absolutely phenomenal. And who was their player that got those goals last night to tie that game up? I'm drawing a complete blank, you guys. It will come to me. It's one of those things, you've got it on the tip of your tongue and you just can't spit out what it is. And that is scary that the public is all over the Islanders tonight, but I just don't see the Sens getting it done on the back-to-back. They just also have Kevin, and I can't say his name, Mandola's expected. They brought him up from the AHL. We saw him versus the Jets back in September 4th versus the Jets. He allowed 4 goals on 15 shots on goal versus the Jets in that one appearance that we've seen him this season here for the Sens. So I can't trust in this team. The Islanders team total maybe is something you want to look at as the Islanders come out and score the goals, but I think the Sens team total under 2.5 is the way that I would go with this one, and the under 6. The Florida Panthers and the St. Louis Blues. 8 o'clock Eastern for this one. We have the Blues, a home dog. You guys know I love a home dog, but the Florida Panthers playing so well at the moment. Minus 128 here for the Florida Panthers. Expected to bring back Spencer Knight for tonight's game. We haven't seen him for a while. He's got a 3.06 goals against average versus Jordan Binnington in net for the St. Louis Blues. He's got a 3.31. Now, while I like Jordan Binnington, I like the fact that the Blues really limit their penalty time in the box. The Florida Panthers just are playing phenomenal. They're off that win last night, so they are on a back-to-back, but they played a great game versus the Minnesota Wild. Got us the OT win last night, 2-1. And it was actually a shootout win there. They've got the Capitals on deck on Thursday. They're sitting 4th in the Atlantic. The St. Louis Blues rolling in here 6th in the Central. I'm going to look at this one, and I lean on the Florida Panthers to get the win. But what I'm going to look at is a couple other ways to bet this instead of just taking the Florida Panthers straight up. I'm going to look at Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal tonight. It's coming in at minus 130, so it is juicy. Looking at him on the season, he has 27 goals, 208 shots on goal in 53 games played. So he's averaging 3.9 shots on goal per game. So I'm going to take him over the 3.5 shots on goal. I think he comes in, has a strong night. I love what we're seeing out of the Tkachuk brothers. The last time these two teams played, it was back in November. The St. Louis Blues won 5-4. I think we have another high-scoring one. So I'm going to take the over 6.5, but I love that first period over 1.5. We know the Florida Panthers have been flying out of the gate in a lot of these games. We saw limited goals last night as well. So I think this is one where we see them open back up offensively in this one. With the Florida Panthers on the back-to-back and with the St. Louis Blues being the St. Louis Blues, a team that I really can't trust. They're so up and down all over the place. They won their last game versus the Coyotes, but it was an overtime win, you guys, versus the Coyotes 6-5. They're the Devils on deck Thursday. I think this game could go either way. I wouldn't be shocked if the Blues got the win, but I do lean on the Florida Panthers. There is no room for wiggle room taking the Blues plus 1.5. We're getting no value. So give me Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal, and give me the over 6.5 in the first period over 1.5. I think we play the total in this game tonight. Let me know what you're looking. You're looking at the over, no sides as well. That was it. The overtime goal. I tell you, that game last night, Calgary must have felt heartbroken going home. I don't know. These boys need to get their acts together. That is for sure. Yeah, Rangers on that back-to-back. Rangers have been playing so very solid. Islanders on the 3 days rest. You're taking the under. Okay, good luck with the under in this game. Defenses, I don't know. Both of these teams allowing over 3 goals per game. Spencer Knight and Jordan Binnington. Binnington at some points is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if I can trust him that much, though. Okay, the Seattle Kraken and the Winnipeg Jets, 8 o'clock Eastern on this one. We've got a total sitting solid at 6. Now, the Seattle Kraken rolling in here as the road dog at plus 122, minus 146 for the Winnipeg Jets. Martin Jones expected in goal for the Seattle Kraken. He's got a 2.92 goals against average. And David Reach expected here for the Winnipeg Jets with a 2.58. Now, if Connor Hellebuck was in goal, this would be an automatic take the Winnipeg Jets. Plus, we would play so much more on the money line. At minus 146, though, I'm still willing to take a shot on the Winnipeg Jets here. We saw the Seattle Kraken win their last game over the Flyers. That was a 4-3 win. This is their last game of a 5-game road trip. They're sitting 1-3 in this road trip. I don't have the faith in them to get this last win. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I would expect them. Seattle is a weird team. They are a team that can go home off a road trip and get the win. So I just want to see what Seattle's next game is of the road trip. If any of you guys know here, drop it in the comments because I could see them winning the next one. I just don't think that they win this one here versus the Winnipeg Jets. They have the Flyers on deck on Thursday at home. I could see them getting that win, especially with just getting the win over the Flyers in their last game. You think Seattle wins the last game on the road? I wish you luck with that one for sure. I just don't know if I can trust them here. For me, it's the Winnipeg Jets or no one in here. I'm going to take Kyle Connor, and I like this better at plus 134 for that anytime goal. I'm loving a lot of the props today. I think he's just due. We look at Kyle Connor, and he's had 4 shots on goal in his last 2 games. He hasn't scored for, I think, the last 4 games out of the gate. We know Kyle Connor is a machine for the Winnipeg Jets. So I am looking for him for that anytime goal at plus 134. I think there is value on Kyle Connor. The Kraken have struggled versus the Winnipeg Jets. They've gone 1-4 in the last 5 meetings. The Jets are 4-0 in their last 4 versus the Pacific. They're also 8-2 in their last 10 after allowing 2 goals or less in their previous game. And they're coming in with a couple days rest. So I think they are ready to face the Seattle Kraken at home in this game. The Boston Bruins and the Dallas Stars. Now, this is going to be a great game. This one kicks off at 8:30 Eastern tonight. We have a total of 5.5. And you guys know I hate betting unders, but this one screams under all day. We have the first team in the Atlantic with the Boston Bruins versus the first team in the Central with the Dallas Stars with Ullmark and Ottinger in goal. This is the kind of hockey that I love. We're going to have a complete battle on the ice, and I hope this one stays under the total. It's the way I'm going to bet it. I think both defenses are so phenomenally strong. The Dallas Stars are allowing more shots on goal, but with Ottinger in goal, I do expect it to be harder for the Boston Bruins to capitalize on those shots and get them in. Now, Ullmark has a 1.9 goals against average. The defense is holding opponents to 2.12 and 29.2 shots on goal. Both of these teams are off a loss, which is not a good feeling for either of these teams. Both these teams are going to want to right the ship in this one. The Bruins lost the last game 2-1 versus the Washington Capitals on Saturday. This is a 2-game road trip. The Predators on deck on Thursday, and the Dallas Stars coming in here off that loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning on Saturday. They have the Wild on deck on Friday. Both the teams have a strong face-off, power plays, and excellent kills. So this is going to be freaking great hockey here. There is trends towards the home team. I am going to lean on the Boston Bruins. I do think the Boston Bruins are a stronger team than the Dallas Stars. Nothing against the Dallas Stars here. Like I said, they are a phenomenal team. I lean on the edge of the Boston Bruins here on the road. It's going to be an insane battle. And give me the under 5.5, you guys. Let me know what you're betting in this one, because like I said, I think this is probably one of the best games on the ice, one of the hardest games on the ice as well. Okay, the next game on the ice, you guys, we have Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Colorado Avalanche. 9 o'clock Eastern for this one. Colorado coming in here as a home dog. Why don't I like any home dogs today? You guys, I feel like pulling out my hair. I love home dogs. You guys know I love home dogs. I don't like Colorado today. Still without Makar coming in here, right? They won their last game 5-3 versus the Panthers on Saturday. They have the Wild on deck tomorrow, who are sitting third in the Central. Colorado sitting fourth in the Central. They're returning home off a 3-game road trip. They're back on the road tomorrow to take on the Wild in Minnesota. I think this is a terrible scheduling spot. I wish I loved Colorado because we know Tampa just won February 9th, which was what? A handful of days ago, 5-0, getting a shutout. So the sudden revenge is here for Colorado, but I think it's a terrible scheduling spot. I can't back the Colorado Avalanche. And I tell you, if these home dogs that I'm like not loving today, all cash, I'm going to be pulling out my hair because you guys know I love home dogs. But I think this is the Lightning's game to win. We're getting them at a short price at -122. Vasilevsky expected in goal. He is so phenomenally strong. We know offensively this team is lighting up the back of the net with 3.58 goals per game on average and 32 shots on goal. Defensively, this team is playing so much better than Colorado as well, holding opponents to 31.3 shots on goal, but it's the goals allowed at that 2.92, where the Colorado Avalanche, still without Makar, he's got a head injury. Not sure when he's going to be in the lineup. The Colorado Avalanche are allowing 3.76 goals per game and 32.2 shots on goal. It's the Lightning or no one for me in this game. The Lightning 4-0 versus the Central and 5-0 in their last 5 versus teams with winning records. I'm going to take Braden Point here for an anytime goal. It's coming in at +140. He had a goal and an assist in the last 2 games versus the Colorado Avalanche. So I'm looking for Braden Point to continue that. And we look at the Colorado Avalanche. They've lost their last 5 as home underdogs. Can't get behind them here. Yes, they are a strong team. I don't think they turn things around in this one. Now, when I look at this total of 6, the under has been the trend between these two. Not going to touch it. That's for sure. But it should be a good game. Jay, thank you for popping in. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Let's make some freaking money on the ice. I'm excited. Colorado's still sitting there, Vic, because it's Colorado. Once this team is healthy, they have every opportunity to get back in the race. The Avs are they're sitting 4th in the Central. They're going to have some favorable games in their schedule going down the stretch here. So don't count the Colorado Avalanche out. They need to get back some of their top players and performers, and their defense really needs to step up and get things going. Which game, Creekman, do you have going to the draw? Is it this one? Let us know at +320. Great value on there. Okay, the last game on the ice. I don't love this game. Pittsburgh Penguins taking in the San Jose Sharks. This could be the upset of the night, but do I trust in San Jose enough? This is a home dog here at +132. Out of all of the home dogs, this is the worst home dog. And this is the one that I have the best feeling about. Oh, it does not sit well. +132 for the San Jose Sharks. It's them or nothing here. -160 here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins just have completely struggled on the road to the point I don't want to touch them. They're sitting 11-11, 4-1 on the road this season. They're 1-5 in their last 6 road games. They're also 5-14 in their last 19 meetings in San Jose. 2-5 in their last 7 meetings overall with the San Jose Sharks. So I cannot trust the Pittsburgh Penguins, but trusting the San Jose Sharks is disgusting as well. They're 1-5 in their last 6 games, playing on 1 day's rest. They're also 3-11 in their last 14 versus the Eastern Conference. They're off a win over the Washington Capitals 4-1 on Sunday. They've got Vegas on deck on Thursday. They don't care who they have on deck. This team is looking at every single opponent they have to play. James Reimer expected in goal for them. He's got a 3.31 goals against average. This team is allowing way too many goals at 3.69 and 31.2 shots on goal. But the Pittsburgh Penguins allowing these goals to come in as well, allowing an average of 3.12 and 33.9 shots on goal. We look at the Penguins here. They are off that loss to the LA Kings on Saturday. They got completely shut out, 6-0. So they are looking to bounce back, but can they do it here on the road? They've got the Islanders on deck on Friday, which is another divisional opponent for them. the Islanders sitting 6th in the Metro, and we have the Penguins sitting here 5th in the Metro. So this game is a perfect situation to take the San Jose Sharks at plus 132. They won in January on the 28th, 6-4. Do I want to take it? A little bit of me does. It's the only home dog I am liking on the card. Let me know your thoughts on this game, you guys. That's where I'd have to go if I had to bet it. The good thing about today, we don't have to bet every game. We don't even have to watch all of these games. Watch what you like, bet what you like. I'm going to give you my long shot parlay. I'm also going to give you my bets that I feel most confident in. I'll probably build a player prop parlay here as well, because I do like a lot of these guys for those goals tonight. Braden Point of the Tampa Bay Lightning is just screaming at me every time I say player prop. In my head, it's going, don't forget Braden Point. Don't forget Braden Point. Better score for me tonight. And Kyle Connor. Man, I like the player props tonight. You guys make sure you also join me tonight on a Sports Grid. I will be hosting with Joe Ranieri in-game live overtime from 9 to 12 Eastern. You can catch me basically all week over on the grid. So don't miss out on that. I will be live betting these games too. So you know where to tune in if you're looking to live bet with me later. Recap. Parlay time. Let's do this. I kind of already built a couple of parlays here, just long shots, and we'll go over those in a second, but let's do this again. I can't take the Sharks either. I really can't. It's the Sharks or nothing. It's so hard to back the San Jose Sharks. They're the only home dog that I can really see winning tonight, which I hate. I love home dogs, you guys. Okay. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Washington Capitals. Again, we got a home dog in the Washington Capitals. I wish it could back the Caps at plus 142. So much value, but I can't against Carolina Hurricanes with Frederik Andersen expected in goal off a loss to the Rangers. I'm looking for them to bounce back. Carolina here in regulation for this game. I'm going to take Sebastian Aho for that for over 3 shots on goal tonight at minus 114 and give me the under 5.5. So for the parlay, hitting the parlay, I'd have to take the Carolina Hurricanes on the money line for the parlay. Best bet, Carolina Hurricanes in regulation. With Ovechkin out for the Washington Capitals tonight, I know next man up comes into play, but I think Carolina is too strong defensively. Without Ovechkin, I see Washington struggling tonight in this game. Aho for the anytime goal at plus 150. I do like that as well. I'm going to take his shots on goal. Take him for the anytime goal as well. Got to love the value. The Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens. You guys, like I said, Montreal coming in at minus 146. Do I want to lay that much juice with a home favorite? That's Montreal. No, I don't, because we see the Chicago Blackhawks are rolling in. They are dominating the matchups in Montreal. I can't trust either of these teams. I don't want to back the Blackhawks with the plus money, and I don't want to back Montreal paying the juice. So what I'm going to do in this one is I expect the goals to come in. These teams trend to that under, but with me expecting the goals, I've got to look at 2 player props of 2 players that I really do expect to get the goals for both of these teams. So give me Patrick Kane here for the anytime goal of the Chicago Blackhawks. That's coming in at plus 180. And then give me Nick Suzuki here of the Montreal Canadiens for the anytime goal. It's coming in at plus 186. I'm going to build a player prop parlay. So it is going to be Patrick Kane here at plus 180 in the player prop for Chicago. And for Montreal, I'm going to put Nick Suzuki. And I'm going to put this parlay in right after we are done here. But yeah, I do lean on the over 6.5 as well in this game. Now, the New Jersey Devils and the Columbus Blue Jackets, you guys, Devils are rolling in here as a huge favorite on the road. Elvis is expected in goal for Columbus. So we look at the Devils. They have struggled in Columbus, losing their last 7 here. But with Elvis in the building in goal, I can't back Columbus. You could take them plus 1.5 if you want, but I think Elvis is so susceptible to allowing even the worst of shots to go in. even though we saw him in some situations cash our tickets last season, I can't trust him. I can't have faith going into this game. If I took Columbus plus 1.5, I seriously would want to throw up, and I couldn't even check scores of this game until I knew this game was over, because I'd want that instant heartbreak right away, or you know what I mean. I just can't trust Elvis. So if it was anyone but Elvis, I would be riding Columbus plus 1.5. I do think this is a good opportunity to look at the first period over 1.5 at minus 142, the over 6.5 for the full game. I do expect these goals to come in. The Devils are definitely going to score in this situation. If they lose, it's still going over the total 6.5. It will be the Columbus Blue Jackets somehow find a way to score on the New Jersey Devils. Now, Bonjenner, I'm going to look at for that anytime goal here for the Blue Jackets. I think he can get it. He's coming in at plus 198. And I'm going to look at Jasper Bratt here of the New Jersey Devils. Bratt, he's at plus 164. So I'm just going to throw his in. I love Bonjenner as well, but I think we have a better chance with Bratt here of the Devils at plus 164 hitting on Elvis. It's because I have no faith in Elvis, and we have Vanek expected here for the New Jersey Devils. So while I think Bonjenner gets it, and I think it's a good one to separately bet, I'm not going to throw it into this parlay. I'm just going to separately bet Bonjenner here. The next game on, we'll get back to that. The Ottawa Senators and the New York Islanders, you guys. I think the Islanders get this one done in regulation. I'm going to throw the Islanders on the money line into the parlay. And in this one, I think the Sens struggle to score. They're on the back-to-back. I'm going to take their team total under 2.5 at minus 130. I think this one stays under the total of 6. I really do think the defense of the Islanders stands up. We saw the Sens really get limited last night until the Calgary Flames fell apart. So I do think this is a lower scoring one. The Senators have struggled in New York as well, not winning any of the last 5 meetings in New York, and they're 2-10 in the last 12 meetings overall. So give me the Islanders here. They better not show their inconsistencies. This team makes me want to shake my head because they seem like they let me down left, right, and center. No player props in this one. We know Brady Tkachuk has been really strong, though, for the Ottawa Senators. He hasn't scored in back-to-back all season. So do what you want with that. I do think this is a game where we can count on Nick Suzuki just because of how poorly we have seen the Chicago Blackhawks defensively the Chicago Blackhawks coming in allowing 3.61 goals per game. Looking at that stat of he hasn't scored on back-to-back games, can you tell me who he was playing on the second night of a back-to-back, if they were strong teams or weak teams? Because I love to see those trends. Just let me know in which situations we've seen that, if he's played weak teams. Because I look at this, he's playing a completely weak defensive team in this one. Okay, where were we at, you guys? We're at the Florida Panthers taking on the St. Louis Blues. In this one, we got the Florida Panthers coming in on the back-to-back with Spencer Knight, who hasn't played for a while, and we have Jordan Binnington for the St. Louis Blues. Again, I love a home dog. I don't think I can trust the St. Louis Blues here, but we got the Florida Panthers on the back-to-back. So this is one I'm not going to take a side in. I lean on the Florida Panthers, but I'm going to take Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal at minus 130. I think he has the ability to get 4 shots in this game versus the St. Louis Blues, who are allowing an average of 3.63 goals per game and 31.9 shots on goal. So look for Matthew Tkachuk to have a big game in this one. He averages 3.9 shots on goal per game on the season. And look at that first period, over 1.5 and the over 6.5 for the full game. I'm going to put Matthew Tkachuk of the Panthers in my long shot parlay. Over 3.5 shots on goal. The next game on the board. Oh, and then I will take the over 6.5. Or sorry, let's take the over first period. Over 1.5 in that first period between the Florida Panthers and the St. Louis Blues for the long shot parlay. The Seattle Kraken and the Winnipeg Jets. You guys, this is the Winnipeg Jets or nothing for me. It is getting a little juicy at -146. I would like this a lot better if Connor Hellebuck was in goal. He is not expected. David Reach is expected. I think my favorite bet here is Kyle Connor for that anytime goal at +134. He is due. I hate saying players are due and everything like that, but the last couple games he's had 4 shots on goal. None of them have been able to convert. I think he's able to convert a goal tonight on Martin Jones, who has a 2.92 goals against average. So I'm going to throw Kyle Connor of the Jets into my parlay. And this is a long shot player prop parlay because all these players, except for Matthew Tkachuk, are coming in with a beautiful plus money. So if it hits, it's going to pay out nicely. But I do think Kyle Connor is a great one to bet separately and straight up in this game. And then let's move on to the Boston Bruins and the Dallas Stars. You guys, I got to lean on the Bruins here to get the win. I do think they get it done over the Dallas Stars. I also think this is a good one to take the under 5.5. You guys know I hate betting unders. This one screams 4-1 at the most with an empty netter coming in. I really do think this is a 3-1, 3-2 style game. Hitting that 5, I think we got to. So give me the under on the Bruins. Just both of these teams so strong on the penalty play, but the penalty kill as well. Both so strong winning those faceoffs. So the Bruins won the last game 3-1 back in October. I think we got a very similar one. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the Colorado Avalanche. Now, Tampa, I absolutely love Tampa tonight at -122. I also love the fact that the whole world is on Colorado tonight and not backing Tampa. Everyone expecting Colorado to bounce back off of the shutout win that Tampa just gave them on February 9th. I don't see it happening. I think Colorado is in a terrible scheduling spot here. They're returning from a road trip. It was a 3-game road trip, but they're back on the road for their next game tomorrow. And that game tomorrow is versus the Wild. So they have a team that's sitting 3rd in the Central and the Wild tomorrow. They're sitting 4th. Yes, they want to beat the 3rd best team in the Atlantic with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who just beat them. It's an instant revenge spot, but the Lightning absolutely dominated getting that 5-0 win on the 9th. So I don't think much has changed in between there other than the Colorado Avalanche got the win over the Panthers 5-3. I think it's just a poor scheduling spot. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Lightning here laying, what is it, -122. I'm also going to look at Braden Point of the Lightning for that anytime goal at that's coming in at +140. So these player props I'm liking. I'm betting them straight up, but I'm also going to do a sprinkle on a long shot parlay with them because if they all hit, it's going to be a good payback. Now the Pittsburgh Penguins and the San Jose Sharks, like I told you guys, I love a home dog. Of all the dogs, I could see somehow the Sharks winning here. Penguins are terrible on the road, 11-11-4 on the road. 1-5 in their last 6 road games. They're just not playing well. They don't play well in San Jose, going 5-14 in the last 19 meetings in San Jose, 2-5 in the last 7 meetings overall with the San Jose Sharks. I can't take the Penguins. The value is on the Sharks. I don't know if I'll get to the window with them here. Might sprinkle a little bit on the Sharks. I'm leaving them out of the parlay and everything. The last time these teams played, the Sharks did win in January, 6-4. So you could look at that over. I don't trust it either. I just don't trust anything with that. Yeah, no Cale Makar tonight for the Colorado Avalanche. Him out with that head injury. Who knows when we'll get Cale Makar back. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. I hope you're having an incredible day with the ones that you love. You guys let me know what you're doing for your significant other for Valentine's Day. Okay, so we've recapped all the games. The long shot parlay for the player props that I like. And you guys, I feel bad leaving Bonjenner out. Why am I leaving Bonjenner out? Well, because Vanek is on the other side of the puck. So while I feel bad leaving Bonjenner out, I'm going to bet it's separate. Vanek on the other side of the puck is just so phenomenally strong. So I'm going to look for the long shot parlay at taking Patrick Kane. And all of these, like I said, they're all paying plus money except for Matthew Tkachuk. So if you just put a couple bucks on each of them separately, or you want to parlay, however you want to parlay them, these are my favorite player props of the day, besides Bonjenner, because I'm leaving him out of the long shot. So Patrick Kane at plus 180 of the Chicago Blackhawks, Nick Suzuki at plus 186 of the Montreal Canadiens. And now, like people said, he hasn't scored back-to-back forever, but I think he can get it. The Devils, Bratt coming in here at plus 164 for that anytime goal. Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5 shots on goal at minus 130. The Jets, Kyle Connor at plus 134, and the Lightning, Braden Point at plus 140. I think out of all of these, I would have to look at Matthew Tkachuk, Kyle Connor, and Braden Point. So Kyle Connor and Braden Point for the anytime goals, and Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5. I'm going to do a 3-leg parlay of those ones. And then the other ones, it's just going to be a couple bucks on all of them parlayed together, you guys. And then you think Jackets stick with Devils. I think this could be a really interesting game because we know the Devils do not play well versus Columbus. Okay, so when I look at the long shot parlay, I'm going to take the Canes here on the money line for the long shot parlay. The Islanders for the long shot parlay. Okay, hang on. We're going to take the Carolina Hurricanes, we're going to leave the Chicago Blackhawks game out. I was going to take them plus 1.5, but it's not even worth it. I'm going to take the Carolina Hurricanes here on the money line. I'm going to take the Devils and the Columbus Blue Jackets over 6.5. I'm going to take the Islanders on the money line. I'm going to take the Panthers and the Blues first period over 1.5. I'm going to leave the Winnipeg Jets game out of it just in case. It's a little juicy. I'm going to take the Bruins here on the money line. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Lightning on the money line. And the San Jose Sharks plus 1.5. So the long shot parlay one more time. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Devils and the Columbus Blue Jackets over 6.5. The Islanders on the money line. The Panthers and the Blues first period over 1.5. The Bruins on the money line. The Lightning on the money line. And the San Jose Sharks plus 1.5 versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. My favorite bet of the night, the Tampa Bay Lightning at minus 122 versus the Colorado Avalanche. And then those 3 player props that are my favorite parlayed together, Matthew Tkachuk over 3.5, Kyle Connor for the anytime goal, Braden Point for the anytime goal. Should be a great night on the ice, you guys. I want to wish you all the best in all of your bets. Again, join me over on Sports Grid. If some things change with these goalie announcements, I will be on from what time? 9 o'clock Eastern to midnight Eastern. So a lot of these games will still be underway. I love this. The Canes, the Islanders, the Bruins on the money line. That looks like some good freaking money there. I wish you all the best. I could not agree more with all of those 3 money line winners there with you. So good luck with that one. You guys have a great day. Keep smiling. Happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you call your mums and wish them a happy Valentine's Day, and your dads. I wish my dad a happy Valentine's Day too. So wish everyone that you love, anyone who means something to you, a happy Valentine's Day. Guys, all the best. Let's make some frickin' money tonight on the ice. I'll see you later. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern on the dot.